Brothers and sisters, what's happening? It's Tactical Santa, and I want to say thank you for showing up for this live show. I've had a great weekend so far. I am excited about this. I have an awesome guest coming on, but before that, a little shout out. We got a couple guys here. Finest Mixed Breed, what's going on? Baker, what's happening? And Sleigh Bells Mowing, what's going on, fellas? So let me give you a little bit of an intro on our guest. His name is Dan the Matching Man. And let me tell you, if you've watched the page, you've probably seen a couple of his reels, but this guy has some style, man. I mean, everything matches. We're talking hats, we're talking glasses, we're talking shirts. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring in our guest. This is Dan the Matching Man. What's
Hey
going on,
everyone.
man?
Yeah, glad to
How's
be
it
here.
going?
Thanks. I'm doing well. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Awesome. I'm so glad you came on. I got to tell you, man, what I really love about you is when you do your reels and all your stuff, you are so positive and you're so happy, man. And I just love
Yeah.
it. You got that smile and you just rock and roll on your reels. And I can tell you're very passionate about making
Yeah.
sure everything matches, man. I tell you, every picture I've seen of you and every reel, I've never seen anything that's not uncoordinated or has not matched. So that's totally awesome, man. So I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, why don't we get into this? Tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
Yeah. So I live in Salem, Oregon, which you guys are probably from all over the place. So that's about an hour south of Portland. But I grew up in a town called Tualatin, which is about 15 minutes south of Portland. So I've lived in Oregon basically my whole life, except for a small stint in well, I lived in Chicago for a summer, and I lived
Ooh,
in
okay.
Spokane for a couple years. But outside of that, I basically lived in Oregon my whole life.
Gotcha. How old are you?
I will be 37 in May, so 36. Yeah.
Still young, still young. In your
Yeah,
prime.
yeah.
Still young. Not old like Tactical Santa. As you can tell, all the gray, right?
I'm getting
So
some grays. You might not be able to tell, but they're coming. Yeah.
there we go. So Dan the Match Man, let me ask you this. What got you into this wonderful world of the shirts, the hats, the glasses? What
Yeah.
got you into this? What was your what made you say, you know what? I want to match. I want to do this. I want to hear about this story. Tell me about the
It's
background.
kind of a journey, you know. So
Right.
I'm the youngest of three brothers, and I think my mom always secretly wanted a girl, and so she would bring me into her room every morning. Well, maybe not every morning, but a lot of mornings to help her pick out the right outfits, you know, the right shoes.
Right.
And she had this watch growing up that had these bezels that would like she
Mhm.
could like screw in. There were different
Oh,
colors, and
okay.
so I watched my mom match all these colors, but then as I got older, I'm like, well, that's only for girls. You know, I
Right,
don't want to
right.
match like my mom. So for most of my childhood and adult hood, I would just kind of wear colors I knew wasn't clashing, but I wasn't matching. But I've always been kind of a bigger guy and kind of uncomfortable in my own skin
Sure.
since being bigger. And so I was like,
Right.
about a couple years ago, I was like, I really need to figure out how I can feel like I look good and present. Obviously, I need to consider my health too. And
Right.
I discovered a company called Roosevelt. So that's the shirt that I'm wearing
Yep.
now. And there's lots of great shirt companies out there, but I bought on a whim a Jurassic Park shirt that had like these kind of hidden raptors in them. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I really like this and help me feel good because that was why I was like, I want to feel good in my own skin.
Sure,
And then
sure.
then I discovered a different company called Pair Eyewear. So if you guys aren't familiar, you can actually pop off these toppers like this and switch them out. And so I discovered that company. I was like,
Right,
okay, this is feeling pretty good. I was like, wait a
right.
second. I met this guy named Dustin in the Pair Eyewear community. He matched his glasses to his suspenders. And I was like, I can do that with
Yes.
my shirts. It was like this
Yeah.
eye-opening experience about a year ago. And
See
so
see,
ever
you
since,
had me you had me convinced you were like a millionaire because I thought you were buying I thought you had like 100 different pairs of glasses. I didn't know at
right.
first that you had the snap, that you could do
Yep.
that. And once you told me about that, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool, man. That's very awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty awesome for sure.
So, hats. what is your go-to hat? Is there a brand that you go through that you love? Which brand?
So the brand that I have the most of, mostly because I just like the way they fit on my head, is a brand called Boston Scally.
Yep.
So let's see here. There we go. So that's Boston
Hmm.
Scally Company. Yep. So that's, in case you're curious how it's spelled. So I just discovered, honestly, not too long ago, that I like the way I look in flat caps. I have nothing against the traditional cap or anything like that. I just don't.
Right.
I personally couldn't them, and so
Sure. Sure.
I started picking up some of these bad boys, and then have recently branched out to a couple other brands. There's this really cool company called Funky Brims that sells
Yep.
top brands, and
Right. Right.
they're awesome. I encourage you to check them out for the
Yep.
best on the caps.
Have you looked into Swisher apparel?
I've looked into them briefly. I have not pulled the
Yeah.
trigger. Do you have any of those?
I do. Todd's actually a really cool guy. He's on the Fit and Finish page. He's big in
Okay,
the
yeah.
beard pages too, but Todd
Uh-huh.
Swisher's an awesome guy. What I love about him is you can actually reach out and message him and he'll talk to you. And I know I believe it's Chris Loop from Funky Brims, right?
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
he's a cool guy. He's on the page too. But yeah, all these awesome hat. But let me ask you this. I think I saw so does Dan the matching man match all the Skellies with matching pins? Do you like when a
Yes, yes.
Skelly when the Scully drops, are you like, if they got pins, I'm buying the matching pins, all of
Yeah.
them?
So, I'm trying to get my camera. So, yeah, today I've got Grogu on there to match
Nice.
my Mandalorian. Yeah, I tried to find pins to match. I still have some outfits. I'm still working on that. So it's not necessarily the pins that are produced by Boston Scally, but I try to match it to my
Right,
outfit. So today it's my
right,
Mandalorian outfit.
right, right. So we got the hats, we got the glasses, we got the shirts. What about the shoes? What
I'm
about the
still
shoes?
working a little bit on my shoe game. I have a handful, but I see you got some shoes behind you.
I got a
I got
couple.
his.
I got a
So
couple.
that's next. I still need to get some more socks and a couple more pins, but shoes are coming. I got about 10 Hey Dudes, but I need to branch out, get
Nice.
some other brands
Right,
to match my outfits for sure.
right, right. Well, I'm not gonna send you down the Jordan hole because that gets
That's
that gets
expensive, right?
it does. It gets expensive and it's a rabbit hole, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So so let me ask you this. Has there ever been so have you ever bought like either a hat or a shirt and been like, I've got to match it? And has it taken you a long time? Like, is there one outfit that
Yeah.
took you a long time to put together trying to find some matching stuff?
Yeah, so I actually organized my closet based on what I have matches for. So I have probably 10 shirts I don't have fully matched yet. So I just kind of like try to find it. But the one that I most recently put together, which is not one I'm wearing today, is I got this not Darth, wow, this Mace Windu shirt because I love
Hmm.
Mace Windu and he's got this purple lightsaber. So I got the shirt first. I was like, okay,
Right.
I need the rest. And so I got a Scally cap that fits, and then I got then I found this purple lightsaber pin, and then I actually still need to buy better toppers. The topper, that's what I call these toppers. The toppers that I have are these like purple dragons. So I need to buy better toppers. So yeah, sometimes take me several months to even a year, just depending on how much money I want to spend, because each
That's
outfit's expensive. It's, I don't know.
right. Right. It's like I went into the Dixon flannel addiction, as you can kind of see, right?
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, well, I got this flannel, but I got to find shoes that match it, and it's like, Um, the funny thing is I've still got flannels and I've got Dixon party shirts and some retro
Okay.
rifle
Yeah.
shirts that I'm like, I gotta find shoes that have purple because and I
Mm-hmm.
have not been able to find a good pair of purples, but man, I'm like, I'm on the lookout, right? Because you're like, I know I have stuff to wear. I just
Right.
gotta find the
Exactly.
right shoes.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is with shoes, black goes with everything, right?
Right.
But I refuse to do that. I'm like, I'm not wearing these until I get something. I've
Right.
got to have, the game's got to be on point. I got to have it all. And I
Right.
shouldn't think like that because I should be able to wear them with black shoes. But I'm like, I gotta be on point. I gotta find something that matches. Yep.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you. That's yeah. I got a whole section of my closet of stuff that's not fully matched yet, but working on it. So
right, right. So let me ask you this. So we got the hats, we got the glasses, we got the shirts. What about so part of your finish? Are you like, you know what? So I go kind of down the rabbit hole sometimes. I'm like, okay, I got like this, so I'll have a retro rifle shirt or something like that where I'm like, it's this theme or this flannel was this theme. I've got to match my beard oil or my cologne to that. Do
Mhm.
you go down that rabbit hole or
Not yet,
not yet? Not yet.
maybe one day. I know, I don't know if you met a guy named Eric Bowman, but I know he often matches
Does he?
his beard, oils and stuff to his outfit, but yeah, maybe someday wanna get a collection, I'll do that to get the
There
scent
we
to
go.
match properly.
Right. Because I'll sit there and I'll be like, okay, like I had this one shirt and it was a um heck, it was, what was it? It was some any which way. I'm like, "I got the perfect beard oil because it's that theme, so I gotta wear" and nobody else is gonna know that, right? They'd be like
Right,
I'd be like, "Oh, you got this one, it's this there in beard oil," but to me,
right.
I'm like, I just wanna do it because it completes it, I feel more complete. So, I think the cool thing, though so let me ask you this because before I had my heart surgery, I was a bigger guy too. I was
Mhm.
320 pounds, and, I had the heart surgery and that, but, when you match your clothes and you're able to, like, match and buy certain stuff, it's almost like self-care, right? Like, you
Right.
feel
Yeah,
good
100%.
about yourself, because
Mhm.
I think once you start doing that, like, I could never go back now and be like, "Okay, I'm just gonna, like, put whatever on and walk out the door." Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, it's self-care. It makes me feel good
Yep.
walking out that door? So, I mean, is that does that help you along? Like, are you like, because as I know the struggle, man, like I said, I was
Mhm.
320 pounds and a lot of people when they look at bigger guys, they look at us differently, and I'm like, you know
Right.
what? I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna present myself in a way that I look good. So does it help with your self-confidence being put together?
100%. Like I've been happily married for several years now, but I started this journey only a couple years ago, and like I really noticed a difference when I started doing it every day, being intentional about how I presented myself to the world. Not that like I was walking out the door, people make fun of me, but just like
Right, right,
I just didn't feel comfortable. And so now that I go out the door and I'm like wearing a shirt that I know looks good on me, and I know, yeah, I'm wearing this coordinated outfit, everything flows, and then I actually get compliments from strangers now, which never happened before. Like,
right,
and like that's a huge self-esteem boost. It's not that like that's what I'm looking for, but it's like I just feel comfortable in my own skin, and so that way I can feel good about myself, and I think that's really important.
right. We were talking about earlier about some small batch beard companies. If he's still in here, and I've just put up Bane Blends. Um, He makes some really good stuff too, and
Okay.
yep, another thing, I don't know if you've dabbled yet, because I know you were talking about your beard journey, you really haven't dabbled too much in, but, something that goes hand in hand with the beards is soap.
Right. Hmm.
Once you go down the small batch with the beards, you go down the soap, but another thing is, natural deodorant.
Hmm.
And,
Yep.
Bane Beards, they make some, from what I've heard, I've gotta order some up from them, but they make some good deodorant, but it's kinda one of those things once you go down that rabbit hole of buying
Right.
small batch, you're gonna be like, "I'm never buying store-bought stuff again."
Yep.
Yeah, yep. So, let me ask you this, are there any shirt companies you haven't tried yet that are on your radar? Like, I only have 1 Roosevelt shirt, and I had
Okay.
a guy give it to me, and they're on my radar,
Uh huh.
but are there any companies where you're like, "I haven't bought from them yet, but I really wanna try them out?" Any of them piqued your interest?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few. There's so like Roosevelt's. There's been quite a few people who like were connected to Roosevelt at some point who started
Mhm.
their own companies, and so
Mm,
there are a lot of smaller companies. So there's quite a few of those that I haven't bought, and then Dixon I've heard really good things about. And then I haven't actually bought one of their party shirts yet. I'm not a big flannel
mhm.
guy. I
Right, right.
personally like to be a little louder, but
I
nothing
feel you,
against
I
it.
feel you. Right, right.
So
I've got lots of their party shirts, so I know what you're
yeah,
talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep.
so I need to try some of them, and then there's probably more. I actually have a list on my phone of different companies because of course trying to complete the outfit. Like if I start with
Right,
the toppers first, then I'm like, oh, I
right,
need to find a shirt to match, and so I have a list of like
right,
20 websites I check. So like, oh,
right.
where's a looking for a specific shirt. So
What
yeah.
do you find it easier? So, is it easier if you start off with the shirt or the toppers or the hat? Which is the easiest starting place if you want to build an outfit?
Yeah, so with the hats, I tend to try to, just match colors. So that's like I tend to do that kind of last because I might already have a hat that works. It kind of just
Sure.
whatever strikes my fancy first. Like if there's a shirt that somebody produces that I really like, I'll grab it. Or if there's toppers that because Pair Eyewear typically puts out new toppers every Wednesday, I think it is, or Thursday of each week.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so if they're putting out a new one that I really want, but it's like doesn't match my current stuff, then I'll start searching to see
Right.
if there's something that I can find. If I can't, I'll either sometimes buy it anyway or sometimes just let it go. Because it's like if I can't easily find a shirt that matches, then I don't want to
Right.
bother. But,
Right. Right. I have a pair of shoes I'm going to show you, and I can't
okay.
find nothing to match this one. I have been on the hunt, and for some reason, this color scheme right here
Okay. Yeah.
is
That kind of
like
like goldenrod
art.
and
Gold rod. It's got like a kind of like a.
pale
It's not
purple.
purple, but yeah, purple. But
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
I got these kind of on a deal, right? I'm like, okay, I got them cheap, and then I'm like, I can't find nothing that matches these things, right? But I'm like, I'm not going to give up. I will one day. I will
Yep.
find something that matches them. So, but I do have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the struggle, right? Sometimes you get
For
something. I
sure.
mean, I've like I said, I've got shirts that I've done that with, or I've got shoes, or hats haven't been a problem because I do have Scully caps too, and I have a bunch in different
Mm,
colors. So Scullies really haven't been a problem. But man, some of this other stuff you look and you're like, oh, like um I like wild stuff like you. I like bright wild stuff like
right.
so like with the retro rifle shirts, right? Because
Right.
I'm Tactical Santa, I'm a gun guy, so they do gun stuff
Right.
and they're bright.
Right.
And I've had some where I'm like, man, there's so many colors on here. I don't know what to match it up with. And you're like,
yeah.
I'm like, and the bad part is I'm not really bald yet, but kind of. So I'm
Right.
like, I can do my hair, but I'm like, man, I'd rather wear a hat. And I'm like, I can't figure
Right.
out a hat for this combo. So there are some times where I'm like, okay, I just got to do my hair because nothing's gonna match this
Right.
shirt, you know.
Yeah.
And I've tried, and sometimes it's funny because you're like, this color should be easy, and you try to find a hat, like especially a ball cap, and you're like, nobody makes a color in this. I can't find
Mm-hmm.
one. So I totally feel your pain on the matching part with some of this stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like these patchwork hats because it's like
Yep.
this was not a great example because it's all kind of blacks and grays, but like when there's like 4 or 5 different colors in the mix, then it's like I don't necessarily feel like I need to match every single color. I can match the majority of colors and still, at least for me, looks good. So,
Right. 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 Has there ever been like let's say because I know Roosevelt's has a big following. I know they
oh,
do,
for
and I
sure,
know
yeah.
their stuff is limited drop too, right? Like they don't
Hmm.
once they're done. Has there been a shirt where you're like, I've got to find this, and you went on a journey to find it? Like had to find it, had to get it, took you a while to find it and get it, or anything like
Yeah,
that?
so there's been a few actually Roosevelt shirts I've done that with, and I have a list on my phone of shirts that I eventually want to track down. Roosevelt has a really good community Facebook page called like Roosevelt's BST or maybe the other way around, so you can buy
Mhm.
those secondhand. But like the one that I really spent a long time tracking down is a shirt called Hades Gotta Hate. It's based on
Mhm.
Hercules, and it's just like kind of gray with this like really bright blue, and it's more of a like when you look at it, you don't necessarily see that it's a Hercules shirt. So I
Right,
that was
right,
one that I spent more time tracking down. But yeah, I'm really glad I have it.
right. And it always so have you ever done this too? So I've been like, because I know Roosevelt's does drops, probably like so
Yep.
like Retro Rifle Dixon does drops, and you're
Yep.
like, I don't know. And then you
Hmm.
don't get it, right? And then it sells out, and all of a sudden you're like, I need that shirt.
yep.
I
Yep.
need that shirt. And then you got to go through the struggle, right? Because then you got to go on the buy sell pages and try one down. Then you're like, hopefully this third person doesn't think it's gold. Like there's
Right.
a certain amount I'll pay, but I'm not paying like stupid money. And then luckily somebody will be like, I got one. I'm only going to charge this much. And you buy. I've had to do that a couple times. I've slept
Yep.
on
For
stuff and
sure.
I'm like, man, I can't believe I didn't buy that. I need it. And then you're like hunting it down, and it's unbelievable sometimes. But
Yep.
have they all been worth it? Once you've got your unicorns and gotten them in, and have they been worth it to you?
So I don't know if I've there's no all unicorns like the ones I've spent a lot of time trying to track down have all been worth it. But there've been a couple shirts that like because I like matching everything, I'll get a
Mhm.
shirt because it's a certain theme, even if it's not like my favorite design. But then like somebody will release a shirt of the same theme later that I like better, and so then
Right.
I'll pick that up. So like Roosevelt's released a Darth Maul shirt that's like his like skin pattern, and so I like it because it's
Okay.
more like it's not like in your face unless you know it's Darth Maul. But I had a
Right.
previous shirt that I bought because it was Darth Maul, but it's like I just don't like this one as much, so I sold that one because I'm like I just don't
Right.
like it, but I had it because it was Darth Maul. So
Right.
I've done stuff like that, but like none of my unicorns where I spent like a really long time tracking down that I like
Right.
regret getting.
So I got to see if your addiction is really bad. So, do you have a drawer or like a container with shirts that are still new in the bag that you're like, you know what, I bought them and they might be worth something? Have you bought any like that where you're like, I can't wear
No,
them because I think they're gonna be worth? No, yet it
no.
hasn't gone that far yet. Not yet.
Yeah, but that's kind of just my personality. Like when I was into Funko Pops, I just
Right.
always pop them right away. That's just I don't collect things to resell them. So I
Gotcha.
have lots
Gotcha.
of collections, but that's just
Right.
it's not how
Right.
my brain works or whatever. So
You know, I've got a container of some stuff still new in bag, but it's not for me wanting to resell it either. It was like, I don't have, I've got to have a special occasion to pop this one open to
right,
wear it,
yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I've got a couple like that. And then there's a couple that I bought and I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't think I can pull this off. Maybe at a later date I can pull it off. It's a little too
Right.
crazy for me or too wild for me. But we were talking earlier about your beer journey, but here's Wicked Wednesday soap company I was talking to you about.
Yeah.
And Stacy is the owner's name. And Stacy, if you're listening, please, I'm gonna send Dan the matching man to you, and please, his first beard oil and soap is on me. So please
Oh,
take
thank you
care of
so
him.
much, Tactical
Um,
Santa.
I want to make
Yeah.
sure that your beard journey starts on the right,
I
and
appreciate
I'll tell
that.
you
That's
what.
awesome.
Yeah, just get a hold of her, and I'm gonna take care of that for you.
Well, I
So
very
yeah,
much appreciate that. Thank you.
very
That's
welcome.
awesome.
So speaking of the beard, you've got it's a reddish beard, yeah, or is it
Yep,
brown?
yep. No,
Reddish
it's
beard, yeah.
red. Yep.
Red. So
Yep.
what are your goals with your beard? Are you gonna just let it grow? Or are you gonna reach a length where you're like, I'm gonna try to keep it here? Or
Yeah, I definitely want to let it grow. I'm not sure how much, I don't know if I really want to grow quite as long as yours, but definitely longer. I had it fairly long in college, but
Mhm.
I didn't do anything with it.
Right,
So
right,
I want to look good. So, but yeah, I definitely want it longer. We'll see if I get to the point where like it's too
right,
long, but I'm not there yet. So we'll see.
right, right. No, I'll tell you what, man. The beard is definitely gonna take you on a journey, and
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
awesome. There's so much good product out there. Like we were talking backstage. Like I said, the cool thing is that's awesome that Stacy's in here from Wicked Wednesday because she makes awesome product, and
Great. Love to hear
you're
it.
gonna be wowed, yeah. Because so I know you said you had another company that you ordered from. So here's
Yep.
what I want your honest opinion. I want you to use that what you got coming in, right?
Okay.
When you get Stacy stuff in
Uh-huh.
and you get that beard oil and you put it in, this stuff is gonna blow you away.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, my God, I understand what Tactical Santa was talking about backstage
Okay.
about all these small batches, but yeah, you won't be
Perfect.
disappointed with her. Yeah. So it'll be awesome. We'll see that. And she, like I said, she makes awesome soap. I love her soap. She's got regular bar soap and she's got whipped soap.
Hmm.
So she's got, yeah. So I'll let you go down the rabbit hole. I
Okay.
got you.
Sounds good.
I got you for your first bar of soap and your first oil, but
Awesome. I appreciate that.
I'm actually known as the bad influencer because I send everybody down rabbit holes. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But so let's talk about your page again. I know it's scrolling. So
Yeah.
what is your page about?
Yeah.
What's it about?
So my personal like Facebook page is just called Dan the Matching Man. So that's where I post my reels about just my outfit of the day where I match. And then a few days ago, one of my followers reached out to me. It's like, hey Dan, like I like matching stuff as well. What do you think about starting a group? I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I would love to start a
Right.
group. And so I started a group just called Fashion Matching with the Matching Man. And so that's what's scrolling there at the bottom. And we're pretty new. We've been for just like 3 days or something, but
Right. Right.
we got a few friends in there that are posting. And so I would love for any of all of you guys to join that group. I recently
Right.
decided to make it private, not because like people can't join. I just sometimes people feel maybe a little bit more shy, don't necessarily want something to be on the whole internet. So that way I made that private. So that way people can post them there freely. But yeah, it's all about matching outfits. You don't have to be as coordinated to me as me, but just, and you don't have to wear the same sorts of stuff. Just whatever matches is great. Or if you're just looking for advice, we would love to have more people join that page.
Right. You sent me the link the other day. I joined up, man. I'll tell you what, I love the positivity. Speaking of positivity, a guy just came in. His name is Born Bearded, and he does some stuff on YouTube. He's all about positivity. So Born Bearded, you should hit up Dan the Matching Man. Watch some of his reels that he does. He is always positive. I think it's great because so one of the other guys that I do stuff with, his name is Santa Tom, and he's a professional Santa.
Nice.
And he is always positive. And one of his things he says is the world could always use a little bit more love and kindness, right? And I think that's awesome because you spread that word, and that's awesome because you're always positive with everything you do in all your reels. And I can't wait to see your page in a year because you're gonna explode out there. Your reels are awesome, man.
That,
So here's the question to you about your reels, and I know we talked about you doing some YouTube shorts, right?
Right. Haven't got there yet, but yeah, maybe I should start doing YouTube for sure. Yeah.
So are you gonna get all crazy like Tactical Santa and do some weird dances on there?
Who knows? At this point, I started it just because I thought it's fun to like post my matchy stuff, and people at work were like, "Hey, you should do this." And yeah, who knows? At this point I like just posting about what matches, but who knows? Maybe something will strike my fancy in the future. But I definitely will start posting on YouTube as well.
Right. I think you should, man. You just start doing some shorts on there, and you're gonna have enough love in this community that when you're like, hey, I'm on YouTube and I need 50 subscribers so I can go live, you're gonna get that really quick. People are gonna do that because like I said, man, you're very positive, and people need to see
that.
People need to see more of that. And I dig seeing all your matching outfits, man, because here's the thing that I love about it. So you can pull off stuff that I can't. So I like seeing people wearing stuff where I'm like, man, I wish I could pull that off. I can't pull that off. I just can't do it, So it's awesome that you have. The other thing is the confidence that you exude, being happy, being confident, being able to match and pulling stuff off like that. That's awesome, man. So
I definitely appreciate that.
Very awesome. So let's see here. Anybody in the chat have any questions for Dan, the Matching Man?
I did see one earlier. Somebody's asking about the eyewear company. It's called Pair Eyewear. It's just pair spelled like pair of glasses, eyewear. And then if you reach out to me, I can get you a discount because they just give anyone discounts, and I can get you $25 off your first order. So if that's something you're interested in, hit me up and I can get you that.
So we got Born Bearded says, thank you for the info, Dan the Man. I'll definitely check it out. Is it that on Facebook?
Yeah, my Facebook group is on Facebook. Yep. So that's where I'm most active. Just seems to where I get most people. But yeah, the group's on Facebook. Yeah.
Right. Anybody else have any more questions? What we try to do on this show is keep it short, right around the half hour or so thing. But anybody have any questions for Dan, the Matching Man? Baker says,
perfect.
Thank you. Yep,
just Baker join the group. Thanks. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely when you decide to hit YouTube hard, man, let us know, and we'll
okay, I'll do that.
We will post it all over Fit and Finish, get you followers, because I want to raise you up, man. I want to see you just blow up.
I really appreciate that.
You're so positive. Like I said, we need more positive people here. Born Bearded is awesome, positive person. Everybody in here is so positive in everything they do. It's so nice seeing and listening to someone body positivity and happy in their own skin. Love it. Definitely, man. Like I said, I was a bigger guy too. And that was always a concern of mine, man, because you're like, it's the things that people who are fit and skinny don't ever worry about, we have to worry about everything when we're bigger guys, like down to, hey, how do I look? How am I smelling? How this, it's, a lot of people don't realize that, and I'm so glad that you're just positive and you're happy in your skin and you're plugging along, man. That's awesome. That is awesome to see.
Well, I really appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Right. So if there's no other questions, Dan the Matching Man, I want to tell you what, man, thank you for coming on. I'm gonna have you back on. You're gonna be
Sounds
coming
great.
back
Yeah,
on. You're gonna be
I love
coming
it.
back
Yeah,
on. And I will leave you with this. If there is anything that Tactical Santa can ever do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out to
right.
me. Um, like other thing I told you is everybody in the bearding community, most of these people in the chat or bearding community, reach out to the bearding community groups because I'm sure they'd love to see your reels and you got a beard. So why
Yep,
not?
I
And
do. Yep,
almost everybody, 90% of the people in the bearded community, I'd actually say higher than that. I'd say 99% of the people in the bearded community are positive people,
great.
and I think all of them would love to see you grow and just get out there. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid of that. And like I said, anything I can ever do for you, reach out to me. And don't forget, check out Wicked Wednesday Soap Company. Check
We'll
their page
do.
out.
Yep.
Grab yourself an oil and a bar of soap on me, and I'm telling you, it's going to be life changing.
Okay, I'm
So,
looking forward to it. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
yep.
Plus, I love spooky things, so I'm looking forward to it. So,
If you like spooky things, it's right up her alley. Wicked Wednesday
yeah,
is awesome. You'll like her stuff. She's
good.
a sweetheart. She's going to take care of you, and you're going to be like, wow, these oils smell amazing. So yeah, definitely. But if there's no other questions, I want to say I appreciate everybody here. Another guy that's really awesome, Brewer, I want to say hi to Coffee with Brewer. He actually has a show on Thursday nights as well called The Bearded Respect. But Brewer is an awesome guy, and they talk a lot about positivity too. So, like I said, get yourself involved in the bearded community. All these
We'll
people
do.
definitely dig it, the matching outfits and everything. Such an awesome, just great group of people. But I do appreciate everybody that came in and watched tonight. And we will have a show next Sunday. I just got to figure out a guest. But definitely go check out Dan the Matching Man's Facebook group, Fashion Matching with the Matching Man. I love his reels, man. Check out his outfits. He puts a lot of work and effort into looking like he does with the outfits. So go show him some love. Let's get his page rocking. And as always, man, Tactical Santa loves you all. And thank you for coming. And Dan the Matching Man, I will talk to you soon.
Sounds
Have,
great. Thanks so much, Tactical Santa.
have a wonderful evening, everybody.